So what I would like to share today with you is how God reveals his power in your life. And if you have a Bible, you could turn to it, but I'm going to share from the book of John, chapter 9. Sometimes in life you feel like the weight of the world is on you. The responsibility is on you. Everything's about you. Lots of people will have thoughts that something I did caused me to get sick. It's on me. And that's human. And we're almost trained that way, especially if you have been going to church. You may really have this concept of you do something wrong, you face the consequences, and then with God's help, maybe you can be redeemed. Well, I want to share with you the story of a young man that was born blind. And it says in the book of John, in the first verse, that Jesus was walking along and he finds this man, young man, born blind. And his disciples get there and start to question, what's going on here. I like this picture here of this gentleman who's blindfolded, because you kind of look at it and see, wow, life can be very difficult if you can't see. There's all these things going around. So just imagine the life this young man was living, and he heard all these voices around him, all this commotion going on, and all of a sudden, Jesus Christ is on the scene, and his disciples see him. And there had to be something that got Jesus' attention and the disciples, that they would decide, we're going to address this situation, right? And so the disciples start to ask Jesus, who sinned? Why is this young man blind? Somebody had to sin, because it couldn't be that he was born blind without sin. It's somebody's fault. And I think as humans, oftentimes we're looking, whose fault is it? And I imagine that the disciples, it's not hard for me, but look at the pictures of, who sinned? It's kind of like when they wanted to stone the woman who was caught in adultery, it's this real feeling of accusation. Whose fault is it? Was it the young man's sin? Or was it the parents? And I like that suggestion from the disciples. Maybe it was the parents, Could be, because, the boy was born blind, so maybe the parents were at each other, and they were angry people, and they were, But I really like, was it the young man's fault that he was born blind? Think about it. When was he sinning? Inside his mom's womb? What could he possibly be doing there that's sinful? I don't think that he was going out and partying and drinking and taking drugs, and he wasn't womanizing or a fetus being formed. So I love that solution that the disciples came up with. We never consider that maybe it's neither, because we're using human logic. But Isaiah 55 teaches us that God's ways are higher than our ways, and his thoughts are higher than our thoughts. He's not contained to our human logic. Maybe it's not answer A. Maybe it's not answer B. Maybe Jesus has another solution, the C for Christ. Maybe it's answer C. And in this case of the story of the young man that was born blind, that's precisely what was going on. And Jesus answered the question, who sinned? The young man or the parents? And Christ said, neither. Nobody sinned here. And then he says this statement that is amazing. He says, this has happened so that the power of God can be revealed in his life. And before he does the miracle, because we'll get to it, he's gonna heal this man and give him his vision. But before he does the miracle, he puts in this parentheses, which really isn't the parentheses, it's the main statement. He says, but now we have work to do. We need to bring light into the world that is dark. We need to do it now. So Jesus starts to address spiritual blindness. So that's why Jesus stopped to talk to this man. The first reason, because he had compassion. and he wanted to heal this man. But Jesus would never miss a teaching opportunity. And so he starts to talk about how he's the light of the world, and he came down to this earth to illuminate us and heal us of spiritual blindness. And he had the perfect examples of who were spiritually blind. His own disciples. They couldn't see that God might be doing something bigger. They were blind to how God operates. They were only thinking about how humans operate, and that is, somebody's got to go, somebody's guilty, somebody is to blame. And Jesus comes in and he says, I'm the light. Let me reveal to you. God's much bigger than that. He's doing something greater. In difficult circumstances, what could be impossible for us to deal with, it's the perfect setup. It's the perfect opportunity for the power of God to be revealed in our lives. And so, Jesus revealed that power in the young man's life. Does anybody know the story? What did he do? That's right. So he made a little mud pack, and he spit in dirt to make that, and he patted it on the eyes, and then put it on, and he sent the man, and he said, wash yourself in the pool of Siloam. Why did he heal the man that way? In other passages, he would just speak the healing. And so he would do healing different every single time. It's interesting. If you go through all the miracles, you don't see that a method of healing is repeated. In one case, a woman touches the hem of his garment and she's healed. In another, he just commands it, and the centurion, he goes and the healing happens. In another, he just says, pick up your mat and walk. Why did he never repeat the method? He was showing us that healing comes through God, not through the method. Because as humans, we still want to bottle lightning and sell it. And so people were trying to figure out, how does Jesus do this? And we would start worshiping the method instead of worshiping the healer. The question that I want to ask you today is, what is God revealing in your life? How is his power being revealed in your life? And I'm open. You offer yourself to be a vessel where God can reveal his power, and that would help other people. And that's a lot more along the line of the teaching that Jesus gave in John 9. So what I would like to suggest to you is that as humans, we tend to give God the right answer that he's supposed to give us. It's like, God, I have a need, and I need you to meet it. And by the way to meet my need, God, is I need instant miraculous healing, and I need no cancer in my body now. And then some of us will go as far as to give incentives to God. We want to influence, right? So God, if you heal me of cancer, I will fill in the blanks. If God heals you of cancer, what will you do? And I'm trying to not say your name so that later you're not like, hey, I didn't want my name on the video. But I am talking to you. What is your deal with God? If you heal me of cancer, I will...
No deal.
Woo! No deals.
I tried that when I was younger, so no deals.
So when you were younger, you learned that lesson. You don't really make a deal, right? You don't provide incentives to God. If you heal me, God, I will be a missionary, and I will go around the world, and I will do this and that, and. But God doesn't need an incentive to want to heal you. He already wants to heal you. He loves you. And so really this teaching is helping us relieve ourselves of these thoughts. It's not about, I did something wrong, now I need to correct that. I pray to God, I ask him to heal me. And we give him that one choice. But maybe God is doing many different things. And what I've seen along the way is that instead of looking for just the miracle, the only acceptable answer from God, open your eyes. See what he might be doing through the process. It could be that he's doing a series of mini miracles. And when I say mini, let's spell it both ways. Mini, M-I-N-I, small miracles, and many miracles, M-A-N-Y. It may not be just one big miracle the way that you thought he should do it. It could be a bunch of little things that add up to something even greater than what you had prayed. Is it possible that God has a greater plan than what you think he should be doing? Open up to that possibility. Our bodies are vehicles for our spirit, and they're for us to use. And right now, you're all here dealing with a breakdown in the body, and we're trying to repair the body. But for what purpose? For spiritual purposes, so that you continue to have a good, healthy vehicle to go out and do the work that Jesus replied to. Jesus said in that whole healing circumstance, in the whole story in John 9, there's work to be done. And so that's another reason why God wants to heal you and can heal you, will heal you, is because there's things for you to do, and he's imagining that. Well, very good. The whole reason why I wanted to share this with you today, the main reason, was so that you can start taking the pressure and the weight of the blame off of yourself. Just let that part go. Stop questioning, what have I done? What am I doing that's wrong that got me here? And start looking for how God can reveal his power in your life. I do want to share this. I love the verse in Luke 18:27 that says, what is impossible for people is possible with God. And so if you could keep this along this week with you. And I like that picture there, because it's impossible for that person to cross the abyss. But with the help of God, it becomes possible.